Okay, story time. This is a playlist where I look at kids' books and think about ways that they might set a precedent in our life and worldview for what to expect, what kind of baselines are being set, what kind of messages are coming across, etc. Check out the other ones. Uh, this is a little otter. Otters are like in my top 3 favorite animals. They're amazing. They seem to have a lot of personality. They are nurturing and caring, relational, highly adaptive hunters, foragers, but for animals, so they're technically hunters, I think. Um, Super smart, super communicative. So, um, you know, it shows you the otters, and I think it tells a little story. I'm a little otter. I am called a pup. When I was born in the ocean, my mother flooded me, or floated with me, cradled on her chest. For weeks I drank her milk, slept, and grew. When my mother otter needs to hunt for their own food, they wrap us. Sorry, my eyes are really bad right now. Let me put these on. That was painful. When mother otters need to hunt for their own food, they wrap us babies in seaweed so we do not float away. Didn't know that. I learned that from this book. Seaweed keeps them stationary. It also seems like a drowning hazard. I've been stuck in seaweed before, pulled under, struggling to get back up, but knowing I shouldn't struggle because that will make it worse. So that's interesting. I'd like to know more about how otters mitigate that risk, because they do breathe air. They don't have gills. Today I'm 6 weeks old and can finally search for my own food. I use my webbed feet and strong tail to dive down to the ocean floor. I pull an oyster from a rock and tuck it under my arm, where I have a special pocket. Didn't know that either. They got like a pocket in their armpit where they can store things. I'm not going to read the whole book, but you get the gist of it. It's giving information, scientific information about their behavior and their features and what they do. It's pretty awesome. It's beautifully drawn. I always try and look for, what is cartoonish and why. If it's not necessarily bad if it's cartoonish, but is it obviously absurd or not? And the only thing I would say is that the otters look like they look slightly made to look happy, like anthropomorphized happy. And we don't know, how to ascribe their present emotion. This book depicts them as sort of always in this like blissful, happy, like, utterly at peace and calm. And typically, that's not the experience of any given animal 100% of the time. So this might give a little bit of a false expectation about their affect. But we do know that they're very playful and that they rarely lack for food. Their populations have exploded in British Columbia. I know that much about that population, and they've had problems with that. Even humans have had competition problems because the otters had become so plentiful and prolific in their hunting. So anyway, all that to say, they're probably pretty happy, but we don't know for sure. And this book might guide you into thinking that or anthropomorphizing an animal in that way. Otherwise, it still passes my test. I'm willing to take that hit, and think it provides pretty interesting worldview basis. Teaches curiosity. Next I'm going to do Are You a Cow and Barnyard Dance. I'm just busting these